Wizards of the Coast is doubling down on its Universes Beyond. Will the largest IP actually work? Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. I'm sorry that we didn't have any content over the weekend. I was actually celebrating my 9-year anniversary of my wife this weekend, so we had a lot of fun, but I'm here back and ready to grind out some more content for you this week. Today I want to have a conversation about Lord of the Rings, Universes Beyond, and what will dictate its success in my eyes as a store owner, as somebody who engages with the product, as somebody who plays the game, as somebody who has been a Magic the Gathering fan for 20 years. What will it do? What will success look like for this set? You know, we have Transformers, Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons. Soon we'll have the Doctor Who set. All these IPs, intellectual properties, none of them compare to Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is, as much as I don't particularly like Lord of the Rings is a massive, massive intellectual property that brings in thousands of people, millions of people around the world that absolutely love it and absolutely are obsessed with it. So this is the largest IP we are going to see for Universes Beyond probably ever. I can't really think of a larger intellectual property that they could use. So I think the success of this is so important. The anticipation and expectation for this set, particularly, is higher than any Magic the Gathering set I can remember of the last couple years. And with that, the stakes are increased, as well as the price and the expectations are increased. So before spoiler season, before release, I wanted to get out of the way a few of the things that I am going to be looking at to evaluate this set. I'll kind of tell you my thoughts on those things, and then also where we currently are in those expectations on pre-release, because some of them are already starting to shape out. So we'll talk about what success looks like, and then I'll give you some predictions. So first off, click away, we're going to talk about the cost, because you have to talk about the cost for this product, because cost was increased based on a standard kind of draft product, you know, not a master set. This is an increased priced product. It reminds me of Battle Bond, where it's not a standard set, but it's not a master set. But for Battle Bond, they didn't increase the price. For sets like Battle Bond, I think Conspiracy, they were all about the same price as your standard draft box. Now, this being said, this was before you had collector boxes and all that stuff. But here we have Universes Beyond Lord of the Rings, which comes with a hefty price increase from the distribution and store angle. So if you have a price increase, you have to do something, in my mind, to justify that price increase. We have to see on the back end of this, you know, if on the back end of this there isn't a price increase for the consumer side, this will, in my opinion, be a failure for Universes Beyond and a failure for Magic the Gathering. So, you know, the reason that you have a cost increase in there, in my opinion, is based on the IP. It cost Wizards of the Coast, it cost Hasbro something in order to put this IP of Lord of the Rings in their game. They have to pay Lord of the Rings something, so they have to increase their prices. So the real question is, will they be able to increase their prices to stores, and then will stores be able to increase their prices to consumers, and will consumers, this is the kicker, this is the win right here, will consumers accept those increased prices? Because if consumers on the back end are refusing to pay the increased prices, that kind of trickles all the way back and makes it look like a failure to Wizards of the Coast. And then they have to reevaluate this Universes Beyond thing. And that's not, like, let's get into this real quick. They are going all in on Universes Beyond. I anticipate that in 2024, we will see anywhere from 7 to 10 Universes Beyond releases, whether that be Secret Lair or actual products. And then I think in 2025, if they continue on this trajectory, the way Wizards works, look at Secret Lairs. There was 1 or 2 a year, then there were 7 or 8 a year. Now there's 70 a year. I would anticipate that in 2025, we actually see like 30 Universes of Beyond releases. So they are really going into this. And they are going to look at this as the like epitome of what they can accomplish with the Universes Beyond. So if the market doesn't accept the increased costs of their, IP, never mind the sense that they had to sacrifice their own IP basically in order to do this kind of stuff, then it's going to look like a failure. So let's evaluate that right now. Collector boxes seem to be doing okay. I have had pretty much no trouble selling collector boxes. I'm at $3.80 in store and online. Patrons got some discounts for a box opening. I'm pretty much sold out of one wave of my collector boxes, and then I'm going to do some box openings, some other stuff on the channel, and then have some out in the store. But even TCG Player, after fees and shipping, collector boxes seem to be doing okay. Stores, a small US retailer who is paying the regular distribution costs are able to profit $14. I mean, it's like less than 5%, less than 4% profit margin, but they are able to profit on TCG Player about $14 right now in pre-release prices for Lord of the Rings. That seems to be better than your typical set, so that's a win. I think that's a win. But set boxes are not doing great. About a $9 loss for LGSs on TCG Player at release right now. So it's really interesting to evaluate that stuff. Now, set boxes weren't allocated as much, and this is where it comes into. Wizards of the Coast has to increase their print run in order to make money to cover the cost of the IP. And this is one of the things that we talked about in 2022 was the increased print run from Wizards of the Coast and how there wasn't the buyers on the other side. And so the prices went down. We saw all these discounted things from distribution. We saw discounted Amazon dumps. We saw all this stuff. So it's going to be really interesting to evaluate where these price points go and where they end up, and will stores see any of the effects of those increased pricing. And here's the kicker, and this is where this really matters for this week. If the power level isn't increased, and so the player base of Magic the Gathering doesn't get excited for this product, I do not believe, this is a wild take, I know. I do not believe that the Lord of the Rings collector market is big enough to absorb Magic the Gathering product at this price point without the player base being excited for it. Evidence of this, in my opinion, is like the Lord of the Rings trading card game that's on eBay for like $300 to $400 a box and is super old. Why would, if you are just a Lord of the Rings fan, you don't care at all about Magic the Gathering, why would you spend $400 on a Magic the Gathering box? If you won't spend $400 on a Lord of the Rings box that's already been out, why would you spend $400 on a Magic the Gathering box now? And just like, I get it. Magic the Gathering is awesome. If the players don't get excited and aren't absorbing a lot of this product, the Lord of the Rings collectors aren't going to be enough to absorb it. So it'll be really interesting to see if they put the power level in this set to increase the sales and make it worth the IP purchase that they have to do. So, all right, next thing, that was number one, the cost. I wanted to get that out there because that's how I will be evaluating this, based on what the cost is for stores. Because if stores are losing money, in my opinion, that's not good. That's a failure. And not even from just a store perspective, but from a perspective of you want to go to your LGS and play the game, and it kind of dictates the success of the product. So, all right, number two, new players. Now, this set should bring in a lot of new players, and that's a absolutely amazing win, and I think that's something that needs to be evaluated, and I think sets like this, Universes Beyond is worth it to me if it brings in more Magic the Gathering players. They have sacrificed some of their lore. They have sacrificed, this is Magic the Gathering lore. They've sacrificed a lot of things, increased prices to make Lord of the Rings happen. If that brings in more players to my LGS, if it brings in more players to your commander group, if you can get your buddy at work who loves Lord of the Rings but would never play Magic the Gathering to play Magic the Gathering with you, that's a huge, huge win in my opinion. So these are the things that I would like to see them be doing. Number one, they cut pre-release kits, and that's annoying. Like, I wish that they didn't cut pre-release kits so that we could have as big of a pre-release as we can possibly have. Now, Distro might be able to figure that out, and I hope they do. Number two, I hope that they really lean into the Lord of the Rings YouTube community, social media community. I hope that where spoiler season tends to be a lot of Magic the Gathering content creators, and I know they don't pick the ones that we all like, that's fine, whatever. I hope that they really lean into the Lord of the Rings community and give people boxes to open and show the Lord of the Rings community what it looks like to experience Magic the Gathering from a box opening perspective, from a gameplay perspective, you know, even it would be amazing. Send out some of the devs from Magic to go to the YouTubers' studios or whatever and record gameplay and teach them how to play. That type of stuff would be absolutely amazing to help new players get into the game. I think that would be really cool. The third and final thing that I think dictates the success of this set is the limited and sealed format. Is it fun? Because you and I are going to go to our pre-release and we're going to engage with this product. Everyone is super hyped to play Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering. Oh, that's not fair. A lot of people are super hyped to play Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering. Will they have fun playing the game? Because fun is the thing that brings us together. The gathering part is so important. If we have fun in the gathering, then we will want to revisit this set. You will want to play another sealed, another draft next week with your friends or with at your LGS. You'll want to pick up the commander decks, and that will drive the prices into selling. I don't want the prices to be super high, but I want the product to sell for local game stores and the community to be excited about it. So if you have fun at your sealed format or at your limited format, then you pick up the commander decks and you engage in the product. And the real goal of any successful game like this is to get you to engage with the product more and more and more. So if the set mechanics are fun and it brings you back, I think that's a huge, huge win. And it will cause you to want to revisit the set again, whether that be opening up packs to add to your commander deck or buying the commander precons and playing a sealed, precon battle with 4 of your friends. That is so important, that kind of fun factor on the limited format. And so it'll be really interesting to see how that plays off. Anyway, Universes Beyond sacrifices a lot of things for Magic the Gathering. For fans and for the community, I really believe that it sacrifices some of the lore and the connection that we have to the game, where you're playing the table and you're fighting Frodo, and Nisa's fighting Frodo. It just feels a little bit weird and different. And I've said this, I don't like it, but if it brings more people into the game, and if it allows stores to thrive more, if it allows our community to grow more, I think that's a really big win. The question is, will the sacrifices pay off? And I think Lord of the Rings is the top, the top question mark for this thing, Universes Beyond. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate you. Remember to be kind to the people around you. If you're looking to pre-order any product for Lord of the Rings, we still have stuff up at gamegrove.gg. Thank you to all the patrons that are gonna do box openings and stuff. I'm really excited to open this product. Remember to be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.